Hi, Lisa Schermerhorn here on the Grassroots Warrior Network, and you're on my show Where Truth Lies. And I'm thrilled and excited to have my friend Michael Jaco here. Thank you so much for being here. It's been such an honor knowing you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Lisa. This is going to be great. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So you've been through a couple of iterations with me because you've done the quantum healing work with me
Yeah.
and seen some of that. So I thought it would be interesting to talk about how we are quantum and how all of this relates on several of the topics. And so one of the things that I have going on coming up, let me share this. Hold on.
Yeah, everything vibration, quantum field. Yeah, and the patches are basically, activating vibrational frequencies. So
Yeah. For
totally,
some
totally cool.
reason,
Looking forward to
this
it.
is not sharing properly.
There it is.
So can you see? I wanted to show the presenter view slideshow. All right. Can you see that?
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
All right. So talk about how we are quantum, and as we move into like 5D, which we really kind of are already, our thoughts, like I'm manifesting, I think about things and I'm manifesting like crazy. And one of the things that I did recently with some people from the Zero Limits movie
Hmm.
was I learned how to bend spoons with my mind.
Wow.
And the one on the left is actually Tracy Joe's. The one on the calendar, she did that
I
one.
remember that. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yep. And the one on the right is my roommate Barry's. And what's so interesting is, and here's mine. This is a stainless steel soup spoon.
Mm.
And it just goes to show you, like, I went through a really difficult time in my life 10 years ago when I was going through a divorce, and I put myself through walking 40 feet of red hot coals and walking on glass and bending rebar from my throat. And I was like, all I needed to do was this to realize how powerful my mind was. I didn't have to put
Well, that's
myself
totally
through
amazing to know
that
that.
kind of
Wow.
hell. And I was talking to Honey C. Golden today about it, and I said it's kind of a metaphor of how life is going to be when we fully get into the 5D.
Yeah.
Is that we don't have to go through all that trauma and everything. We're going to learn from just being able to have conversations and learn from each other
Hmm.
instead of traumatizing each other. So I'm actually doing a spoon bending workshop on December 3rd at 4 o'clock Eastern, and I'll have that information later on. But it just goes to show you how powerful your mind is. I mean, you've done a lot in, SEAL Team 6. You were doing remote viewing and things. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all.
Yeah, definitely. So it started with Native American, just looking down the trail and a trail you've never been down before, and I would see it in my mind, and then I would go walk the trail, and I was like, wow, this is real. And then eventually, when I was in combat zones, I would, my mind would walk the place where we're going to drive real time, and I would see there were threats out there, so I'd hold my teams up, and unfortunately, other people would succumb to the bombs and shootings that were happening or waiting for targets of opportunity. So, and then I moved to the point where I could see into the future. I would see things a week in advance. And then further on, many years later, I would see different people that were terrorists, activating terrorists, one of them being Osama bin Laden. And so I would see them, and then I would start to send them love energy. And that love energy, uh, instead of like a real bullet hitting them, that love energy to someone that is negative is pretty much the same thing, unfortunately for them. So
Wow.
they succumb to that love energy, and they were gone. Of course, my old SEAL team, Red Squadron, was the one that I was in SEAL Team 6. They're the ones that came and got him. I was talking to some of those guys like weeks before that, and we were discussing, a lot of this stuff that we're discussing right now, some of the guys I work with are really into this, and being able to see things and know things and so forth. So this quantum realm is timeless. You can see up and down the timeline with your mind's eye. It's available to all of us. So
Yeah.
bending spoons is basically getting you to the point where you see that your mind is very powerful, and then you take that power and you work it into, like you're talking about, manifesting very quickly in this reality.
Yeah, I want to share a story that happened to me and my friend the other day. Living in Vermont, it's very dark here now and no street lights. You drive on the highway, there's no lights. And we had to go pick up two things. She was moving her office. And so we went to go pick up this recliner first. It was an hour drive there. And then there was a 40-minute ride to go pick up a mini refrigerator. And this was just on Saturday. So I get a download as we finish up with the recliner to drive in. I get this message, don't go. And I was like, what's up with that? It's like, don't go. And I just kind of stuffed that down and ignored it because she really needed to get this refrigerator. So we drove 40 minutes and we arrive at this guy's house. And how do I describe this? There's the house and that's lit. And then he said, oh, the refrigerator is at my sugar shack, which is where they make maple syrup.
Hmm.
But all I see, so we had ice and snow. All I can see are tire tracks covered in ice going into the woods, and it's just black. I
Hmm.
don't see lights back there. I don't see anything. And I'm like, this is weird. I'm not. And so we said to him, we don't feel comfortable. Could you go take your car and go get it? It'll fit in the back seat of his car or the trunk because it's just a mini fridge. And
Hmm.
he kept saying, "No, you need to go to the sugar house." And he kept saying it over and over again. And he said, "You're going to have to drive down there anyway to turn around." I'm like, "We're in your driveway. We can turn around here." He kept insisting so much that I got really uncomfortable. And
Hmm.
Barry went to hit the gas in her car, and the parking brake turned on automatically and wouldn't let us go forward.
Wow.
And then I
Uh,
looked at her and I said, I don't want to stay here. I'm not comfortable with this. We need to leave. And we turned around and left.
hmm.
And then I checked in with Honey. For people who don't know, she's a partner of mine. We do these quantum healings together. She said, yeah, there would have been some bad stuff. He was not a good guy. He was very sketchy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Wow. Good job.
Yeah, so it's the idea of that same thing of you need to learn to pay attention to those in the intuition. Like I overrode that, but I didn't even know why I overrode it and why I needed to pay attention until I got there. So that was a big warning to me about really paying attention and listening to that gut intuition. So yeah.
And that's really good. I mean, the gut, the gut is like the second brain, has lots of neurons down there. They found out. So a lot of people that I work with over the years, in law enforcement or military and so forth, CIA, that gut, they get that gut feeling. It's like doesn't feel right, and that's your second brain basically giving you insight. Now, further along, you start to develop heart-centered and brain coherence, like they talk about in heart math, and your the energy from your heart goes out much further than your brain frequency. And when you combine the two, you can tap into incredible things. So that's another thing that, as you go into these quantum realms, you start to tap into.
Yeah, and the more you clear out energetically, the more you have access to instant manifestation. And one of the things that's been happening to me because I do this so much, and I'm in these quantum healings minimum 2 to 3 times a month. where I'm clearing and clearing and clearing and doing a lot of forgiveness work, that I'm at a point where I think of things that, and they happen. And I went from going to, you know, I turned around and went from going to Mexico for a week. It turned into 3 months.
Hmm.
And I only paid for, I think, 3 or 4 nights of the entire time. It was all, staying at people's houses and getting invited to things. I got invited to a red carpet event in Prague, which was going to be like a 4 or 5 day thing, turned into a month in Europe with all these things happening. And they come to me. Like they're all I'm attracting it all. And that's the part that's been so amazing. And the quantum healing that's coming up has changed my life.
Yeah.
I've been doing this and you've been part of it. This was the group healing that we did. And what happened was I was working with Joe and Scott of TruthStream, and
Hmm.
they had some doctors out on the West Coast on in I think it was in Oregon and Washington. Anyway, we had 15 people. We checked all of their blood before and then immediately afterwards. And one of the things that was interesting, the doctors were checking everyone's blood, and there was one gentleman who had had his blood checked, and with the dry blood, they can go back in time.
Yeah.
And when they go back in time with the dry blood, they were able to tell that this gentleman had 3 out of the 4 layers of his blood showed significant prostate issues.
Hmm.
So after the healing, it literally showed no prostate issues at all.
Wow.
So that meant that it went back in time and healed him. And
Hmm.
so we're finding that um, the more we do this work, the more we can get into the quantum. And even with hypnosis and the work that I do, going back, doing ancestral healing, I'm going back and sometimes 10 generations with people. And your higher self has the answers to everything. So your higher self, you ask your higher self, where's the root cause of this issue in your family, in your lineage? And boom, you're suddenly at a ancestor going back generations. Sometimes it's one, but generally it's further back, and you can tell because you've got trauma or patterns within a family
Hmm.
that you can see generationally. So that's been really powerful, and you shift it and then you stop it so that you don't pass that down to your descendants.
It's amazing. And I know you did a lot of us with the meditation.
Yeah,
We did the blood work. I had the rouleau there where the blood was clumping like that, not moving oxygen as well.
yeah,
And I remember after you did the meditation for me and everybody that my whole family pretty much, we all had the right side where our blood started was released and started passing oxygen better. I
yeah.
remember feeling better. I remember feeling, like really low and low energy and so forth. And that really made a difference. So we know there's a lot of stuff out there that are compromising us, chemtrailing, people that are shedding from vaccinations and all kind of crazy stuff. But there is a quantum realm that can overcome that. And you've done that. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's funny because I never told you this, but I was so nervous doing it with you because I know how healthy you are, like how you really watch everything and you
Everything.
work
Yeah.
out. And so I thought there's going to be nothing wrong with you. I was like,
I thought the same. Yeah.
I was shocked.
I was shocked too. And then, but when you did the quantum healing, it was noticeable
Yeah,
because I'm always high energy, but I was, like I said, feeling a little bit low energy, and I was like, who knows, maybe I need to tighten up my diet or work out differently or something. But once I saw the blood work, I was like, wow, it's like
yeah.
almost everybody is affected by this now. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And here's the thing is that, they've shown EMFs does this to people too.
Mm,
There's a
yeah.
lot of things, and I think they talked about LifeWave. Does that do anything to help protect people from EMFs?
Yeah, it creates Faraday cage, the X39 and X49. I've noticed it uh, definitely because occasionally I get attacked by directed energy weapons. A lot of us have talked about this. I remember talking to Dr. Artis about this we did an event together, and I was sitting at the table with him, and we were getting to know each other the first time. And I asked him just out of the blue, it just kind of popped in my mind, have you ever directed energy weapon attack? So he said, oh yeah. And so he talked about same symptoms that I go through when I get hit. But the X39, X49, usually when I'm wearing that, I don't get hit. I haven't been hit for a long time, and I think it builds up pretty much a resistance over time as well because you're only wearing them 12 hours. So I've
Yeah.
been wearing them for several years now, and I feel like I have a resistance to that. And I feel like I'm sometimes I get hit, but I can easily shuck it. Whereas
Yeah.
before, it would knock me down. I would be crawling across the floor. It was really, really bad.
Wow. So what is that like? Like, can you describe what that's like when you get hit? Because I know Bishop Jim got hit too. He was on the golf
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
Yep. It feels like your heart is seizing up. I had this happen to me one time when I was walking the Pacific Crest Trail. Is right after I left the CIA, and I left because I was saying there's ET involvement, and they didn't like that. They have a group that basically eliminates people that disclose some stuff. So I left under unfavorable circumstances. So I'd been like their top guy for like 11 years, and then they started to squeeze me, and I was like, well, this isn't going to work out anymore. I can see that. So I left, and to basically, overcome PTSD from 35 years of doing in the CIA and
Wow.
SEAL teams, I got that I need to get out in nature and I need to do a long trip. So I was out there. I was hiking, did the Pacific Coast Trail, thousands of miles, months and months. So I didn't have my phone on, and because I knew that they'd probably track me. So I've been out there for like a couple months, and I was way ahead of everybody else. I was like number one, the first guy on the Pacific Crest Trail, past everybody. So, you know, uh, so I'm in this one area, and I see these guys in what looked like a military type dark truck, and they come up from this trail area, and I'm like, everyone you see on the Pacific Crest Trail, everybody smiles, everybody's happy. You're in nature, you're loving it. Everybody smiles, says hi, and how you doing? And these guys gave me a stink look, a stink
Oh,
eye, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
that's strange. Uh-oh. So then I go down along this one area of the trail, and it was steep going up, and it was steep going down, and it was just the trail was just large enough for one, maybe two people if they like went side by side and scooted by each other to walk on. So I remember thinking in my mind, if something happened to me on this trail, I'd probably fall off this cliff and no one would find me. So just popped in my mind. And then I heard in the distance a helicopter, and I said, and instantly, because I'm pretty tapped in, I was like, uh-oh, they're coming for me. Because I turned my phone on, and I started texting and checking in with people. So like a day or two before, I didn't think it'd be any problem because I'd been months since I'd gone low key. But sure enough, this helo comes is a totally white helo, no markings on it. The windows of the helicopter are completely blacked out, and it hovers. It comes right upside me, and it was like a stone's throw away, easy. I could hit it with a stone, and it just hovered there. And then I felt my heart seize, and
Cool.
I was like, so I really get control of my body. I'm very quantum, like we're talking about energy and all kind of stuff. So I let it go, and I blocked myself, from any energy interference. And I kept walking, and then it took off up the trail, and it was I could tell that they were making sure there was no one coming or going. And then it came back. It hit me again. Did this 4 times, back and forth, and then it come back and it hover, and I'd get that seize feeling in my heart. And so I finally got to a point where they took off to check the trail again, and I sprinted to the end of this cliff face area that I was on, and it opened up into some wooded area. So I went into the woods, and I have this ability to like make myself go invisible. So I went deep. I sprinted deep in there, and I went flat, and I just went invisible. I'm just thinking invisible. There's no cellular structure around me. The atoms don't, register, and I could hear it like flying over the top of me, looking because I guess they figure it probably ran down this area, and they were flying back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then they just left. So yeah, I've experienced
Wow.
these things before. So that was one of the worst ones. But they can hit you now. They don't need to do it from a helicopter. They can GPS you and hit you from with satellites and all kind of crazy stuff now.
Unbelievable. So is that the same as like the heart attack gun they talk about years
Oh yeah,
ago? Like, so that's so
it's a frequency. So your
yeah,
heart is every organ of the body is a frequency, has its own individual frequency. You have an individual frequency, quantum realm,
right.
and so they'll tap, because they have my DNA. They have all of our DNAs. I'm pretty sure at this point. So they can figure out what your signature is, and then they tie that in, and they can come in and do a shutdown of that frequency, so it affects it, and that's what a lot of people get. They get attacked that way, and very frustrating. But I think the patches have helped me tremendously
Yeah.
with overcoming that. And like we talk about being a good diet, and then have somebody that has quantum healing abilities helps out as well. I know
Well,
you've prayed a couple other times for me. I appreciate that. So it does absolutely make a difference.
no, I appreciate it. So I'm going to show you. This is a little bit of a graphic photo, so I'm giving people ahead of time, but I wanted to show the difference because I I twisted my ankle coming down the stairs, so I tumbled and landed on my hands and knees. And this was my ankle, my
Oh
foot,
my God!
my right foot. Yeah.
Wow.
So I immediately got my patches on.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the crazy thing. I had to be in Montreal the next day.
Mm.
I had committed to something and it was my right foot. So I had at that point I couldn't even put it down. I had some old crutches, so I was using those. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought, how am I going to drive 2.5 hours to get to Montreal? And I immediately got my Eon patch
Mm-hmm.
on, and the pain instantly went away. And it
Wow.
wasn't that I could put pressure on it and walk yet, but I was able to get my foot on the gas pedal and brake. That's all I needed. But
Quantum mind. Good job.
it was amazing to me because
That's amazing.
literally I was able to drive and I was hobbling for a bit. But 7 days later, if you look at the right, how much it had gone down, and then at that point I was walking around.
Wow.
And I would never have made it up to Montreal if I didn't have those patches. So
No doubt.
I was rotating between the X39, the Eon, and the Eon took it down so much that I didn't even need any of the Ice Wave, the pain patches.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was really cool. And
Yeah.
then I was in Marbella, Spain, and this was right before I broke my pinky toe. I've been very clumsy lately. So I'm in the movie Zero Limits. It's a Joe Vitale movie.
Nice.
And we won all these awards at all these film festivals. And I was invited to Spain to this particular film festival. And I had these little sandals on. My foot slid, and I heard the snap, and I literally lost my toenail.
Ah,
And I'm in Europe and I'm there for a month and I had to walk every day. We were walking like 15,000 steps a day. And again, I was rotating my patches on my toe and I was able to get my foot into a sneaker. I loosened up the laces, but I could keep up with people. and I was walking, and I was shocked, and my friends were all shocked because they saw how swollen it was and the color it had turned. I don't have any before and afters of this one. But yeah, and so these patches are not only about pain, but you were at the conference, so I'd love for people to hear about, the new things that were going on because I was traveling, but I know they have the water machine that's
Hmm.
supposed to be quite amazing.
Yeah, they got the water machines X2O. I got one. I've had it for I think 2 months now, and it's been absolutely incredible. I had some breathing issues that crept up. I don't know what it was from, but uh, my breathing was getting really, really tough. I was getting really concerned. The water machine came. I was praying for it to come, and the water machine came because you drink it, and it's literally you're ingesting light. So David has built a machine that basically puts light into the water. So drinking that, my lungs cleared up. I got some skin issues. They cleared up better than they have in like a quarter of a century. I've had these issues. Lots of different things now. And then there's like Celergize that just came out. So Celergize AM and PM now. The PM is good because of we talked about shedding. It basically knocks out shedding problems that a lot of us have been having. So the AM formula has it basically highlights and makes the stem cell technology copper peptides that's in the X39 or X49 and increases their potential by a massive amount. So a lot of things are coming out. Those two things, the X2O, hopefully it comes out. I'm hoping it comes out before Christmas. They've said next year, but hopefully they sneak it in, get it in early for Christmas so we can get a lot of
Oh,
those out to
for the
people.
actual water machines, because I know a few
Hmm.
people who had gotten it already,
Yeah,
and miracles were happening with this water machine.
totally. Yep.
So my understanding is it's infused with the light, but it's created something that doesn't exist anymore. Is it a compound or
Yeah, he basically created a new metal.
a metal?
There's tin. I forget what else it's mixed with, but I have a little piece of it. I got it at the conference from the year before in Dallas, so I have a little piece of it. And just having that, Tracy, my wife, she has it by the next to her in the bed and makes her sleep a lot better. And
Huh.
so there's energy that comes off. It's energy. It's a frequency, and it calms her, keeps her. She gets really good sleep with it. But yeah, the the water basically comes out, and it's like I my I was very acidic, and I've been trying a lot of different things, diet wise and so forth, to bring myself back to alkaline, and nothing seemed to be happening, nothing seemed to be working, and so I've been testing it and testing it, it's been going down, down. So the water is alkalizing as well. So C cells, cancer, and so forth need an acidic body to basically form. If you're alkaline, they can't form in your body. So that's another great thing. So alkalizing yourself so you're resistant to different diseases and so forth. Of course, the Eon patch, like I've been talking about, reduces inflammation, like we saw with your foot, but it also reduces inflammation throughout the body. And most 90 to 95% of diseases are caused from
Right.
inflammation. So it's miracles, absolute miracles happening all the time with these products.
No, it is amazing. I actually use the cellularize, and that was something that I brought with me on my trip. But I
Hmm.
just have the AM, so I haven't picked up the PMs yet. So I didn't know that about the PM. So that'll be awesome because as I get older, it's getting harder and harder to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, so it'll give you a good night's sleep too. So very nice.
That's awesome. So I hear so this is so funny because as a kid, I grew up watching Star Trek.
Hmm.
And so I watched every single episode. My sister and brother, because my brother is a huge William Shatner fan. As a matter of fact, when my brother went to an event with that William Shatner was at like 2 years ago and finally got his picture taken with him. He was his idol for, his whole life.
Uh,
And we used to tease my brother and get him, like for the holidays, a Enterprise phone, that looks like a miniature of the Enterprise. So, yeah, William Shatner's been a huge part of my childhood and my life. And so I heard he made an appearance at the conference.
yeah, yeah, he made appearance last time, and there's some videos and stuff that he's done for the company. For the headquarters in Utah. So really, really fun stuff what they're doing with the company now. Because David, when he was growing up, they called him Spock because he was like, Spock was a science officer, and so he was that's illogical, and so he's very, very logical. But he's a fun guy. I've been around him. We've done some stuff together. He's a very, very very, very nice guy. And he's the Tesla, absolutely the Tesla of our time. I've been to his laboratory. I've seen his laboratory, and the stuff that he has in there is Tesla level. Now, Tesla, of course, they stole his information, used it against us.
Yeah.
That's what we were just talking about, the direct energy weapon. But he is developing stuff like the patches and the water machine and his drone program, which are way advanced, way, way advanced. So amazing, amazing things are coming from him.
So what's his drone program?
His drone program basically, he built it to because he was very frustrated where people get injured or there's these crazy events like earthquake or something and people need stuff to survive. So he's frustrated because he would give the patches to the Red Cross and it would take weeks, a week or two to get there. So he's like, he and his son developed a drone. So this drone can actually hold more than almost any drone I think any drone that's out there, well over 100 pounds.
Wow.
And it can fly anywhere in the world. It can fly there, and it's got rotary, so it can land flat and deliver the supplies, and then fly back. And no one has to control it. It's just programmed in. It flies, it's unloaded, and it flies back.
So what
So he
is it
has some
running off of?
technology that's very, very advanced as far as like the engine. The engine when it takes in air, when it expels air, the air is cleaner than the air that came in. And this technology is so good as far as like the energy because it can go anywhere in the world and fly back on just one charge of this energy system that he has. I can't talk about it, but he's developing that energy system for home use. So within a year or two, maybe three at the most, he's going to have this home energy system that will make you completely self-contained. You won't have to use an energy grid or anything.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah, because what else was he was I used to run a virtual reality company. I was involved with those VR glasses and we
Wow.
used them I help write programs to help people heal.
Hmm.
So we would put binaural beats in, and then we would have these guided visualizations, and they were so real. And they talked about the technology of this going to be holograms, as if you're all in the same room, type of
Hmm.
thing, even
Yeah.
though you're still at your home. So I hear that that's also either work in the works or already available
Yeah, it's already
in
available.
Japan.
I've seen the result of it. It's there at the corporate headquarters in Utah. They have a couple of them there, and he's had them at the last LifeWave convention. That's where William Shatner basically came in 3D,
Yeah.
hologrammed in into this box, and you could see him, and he interacted with everybody. And so he's at a different location where there's another hologram box, and he's basically broadcast, and he looks completely like 3D. Like you could go up to him and say, and not be able to touch it, but you'd think you could. Yeah, it's completely amazing. So that's another technology he has. Now he can be, let's say, in corporate headquarters, and he could broadcast to Japan and it will broadcast. He can speak in English, but it will broadcast in Japanese, and he can do that in any country in the world. And I guess there's at different corporate headquarters throughout the world. There's over, I think, over 100 corporate headquarters around the world. They're putting these boxes so they can have these interactions with people. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
I did an event there in Utah with a group. I took them there, and we sat in this one room, many of us, and we were able to ask him questions. And I think he was in Denmark at the time with his drone program.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
and he looked like he was
Wow.
right there. Looked like he was right there. Incredible. Kind of like the the transporter that's on the Star Trek.
Yep.
So he plays along with that a little bit, and when they're at the headquarters, you do a tour. There's one where he's like he kind of beams in and then starts talking to you. It's fun stuff.
How
He's living the
amazing.
dream, you know.
He
That's great,
is. He
and he's
is.
including us in it. It's pretty special.
What a remarkable man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel privileged to be part of the Lifeway family, and I have to say it's I watched so many people um, getting healed and getting helped by this work, and the combination of what I do and the patches has really been, phenomenal. And so. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say about what you saw at the conference or anything that I missed about LifeWave or what's going on.
The compensation plan, the new compensation plan, I think is fantastic. A lot of people that are in my group, and you included, I don't know if you've seen it, but I've had my income double in the compensation plan.
Wow.
Yeah, and so a lot of other people have seen the same thing, and you're able to advance a lot easier. Uh, at the lower levels, when people first come in, they can start earning income much quicker. Uh, like before, maybe 10, 15% could earn income. Now it's up to 65% very quickly, and then it can go up very, very, very rapidly from that point. So not only is he bringing in LifeWave, is he bringing in, incredible health potential and opportunities for people, also, building, wealth as well.
It's really important for people to be able to have these kinds of, you can do it as a side hustle that people
Yeah,
do for additional, or there are people who do it full time and
totally.
they do really, really well with it. And what I love best about it is your team, all the people between Connie, all of the people, Brad,
Mhm.
there's such an amazing support system,
Really is. Yeah.
and
And that's
and
what helped me from the beginning. So
yeah,
I was like, I don't know. I love the product, but how do I get this out there? They said, just share it. Just go out and talk about it.
yeah,
And that's what I've done and built a very, a successful business. It's been very, very profitable, very rewarding on many different levels. My satisfaction with this company is over the top.
yeah.
Uh, I'm going on a trip to Bahamas on a cruise ship because of the company because I did well. I think this is like my sixth trip, and they're constantly rewarding people that just share this product. It's very good.
Yeah, and for the people who are resistant because they don't like selling, it's just like it, you don't really think about it's selling. It is sharing. It's just saying, hey, you know what? You fell down the stairs. Let me help your
Exactly.
ankle. I
Yeah,
had,
I've never done sales. I don't feel like this is sales.
yeah,
I'm just sharing something that's very, can be very beneficial
yeah,
on many different levels. Now, another one that you were talking about, you lost your toenail. I walked the Pacific Crest Trail. I lost all my toenails. Eventually, most of them grew back, but my little toenails, they never grew back. And I've been wearing, LifeWave patches for 3 years. I think it was about a year or two ago. My little toenails started to grow back again,
yeah.
and now they're growing like crazy. It's like I have to clip them all the time. It's super healthy. It's like wow, okay.
Well, this is the other thing. And I admit this. Yesterday was my birthday. I'm 63 now. And I
Ah,
want quality of life. I want to be and I can tell the difference when I'm working out if I
mhm.
have them on and I
Yeah,
don't have them on. If I forget to put them on and I start my workout, it's a whole different workout.
yeah,
So, and then I also feel like my skin feels young. There's so
yeah.
many things for you for your
And that's one of the that's one of the
yeah.
amazing things, and one of the reasons why I wanted to get involved in this company too, because I looked at all the people that have been using the product for a long time, and they all look much younger. And you look, I just saw you just recently in Maine. You look
Yeah.
fabulous. I mean, it's like
Wow.
wow.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So you do not look your age. So good job.
Thank
Keep
you.
it up.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
about to become a grandmother in January.
Ah, congratulations.
I'm
Wow.
so excited. So, so I want to just give people. So I want to go back to the spoon bending. Here I put created a QR code. So that's going to be December 3rd at 4 o'clock Eastern time. It's $44. It's going to be an hour.
Good
And
job on those numbers.
anyone I know, I love 44. Um, if you want to learn how to do this with your mind, it's pretty amazing. Tracy did it. We had a good bit of fun. And
Yeah.
then this Thursday, Honey C. Golden, for people who don't know her, she's an amazing healer. We do this twice a day, 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock this Thursday. It's once a month, it's a subscription. And we work at an emotional level. We ground people. I do the quantum healing, but we also help with resistance, forgiveness. She's added some things in since you were in the last one,
Mm.
and then this is also my link for LifeWave if you're interested, or you can reach me directly. I'll have the links below if people want to have any questions or they want to know what products are best for them. I'm happy to help them with that.
Lovely.
But yeah, all of these
Yeah, that
things.
meditation, I've done it with you separately and then with the group. That was very nice. I really like that. I think the group meditation was that was probably one of the best meditations I've done, group meditation wise. And
Yeah.
I've met some really high quality people doing them. But that was very
Wow.
well done.
Wow, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
and what's interesting is I'm watching the group because there are people who come in every month and
Hmm.
watching the whole group heal together. Like the
Yeah.
type of questions that they ask are different now, the type of issues that are coming around. It's really, and they've become close because they have their own group that we have a group where they can connect and they're answering each other's questions and helping each other out. So there's a really great support with it as well. And that's the key with any of these things. You need to support people and help them through their difficult times. And I know that LifeWave does that. It does that for me. And this is a really remarkable group. And I feel so lucky to be part of all of this.
Yeah. We're lucky to have you be part of it. So thank you.
So yeah, so thank you so much, and hope to see people there on Thursday and at the spoon bending workshop,
Very
and
nice.
with your LifeWave patches on.
Because you'll be much more effective that way, I'm sure. So
Exactly, exactly. All right. Well, Michael, thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.
yeah, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. It was wonderful.